Thumbs up. Everyone else, if you could say type in the chat or just give me a thumbs up, that would be great. All right. So um, once you're here, you're going to go to sign up at the top right corner, and then you can see we can create a username, email, and password. And if you do have a Google account that you know of, then you can click on continue with Google to sign up. And then other than that, yeah, put in your username, email, and password. And if you're not sure of any of this, you can go ask your parent to help out a little, or you can ask me for help, and that's fine too. So let me know when everyone is signed up and ready to move. Yeah, Edward, what happens when you run the program? Not sure? All right, it's fine. So, what we're gonna do is, yeah, exactly. So whatever you typed in here, it's gonna print out at the right, and that's pretty cool. But let's try putting something else. So I'm gonna put my name, Hamosu. You guys can all try this too if you want. You can put your name in, and then you'll see that your name is gonna print out at the right, which is pretty cool. And then you can also have like full sentences. So Hamosu ate an apple, period. And then if I run it at the right, it's just going to print Hamosu ate an apple again. And then let's write like a short story. So I'm going to add another print statement on the next line. And I press enter to go on to the second line. And then I also need a open parenthesis, and it should automatically create a close parenthesis at the end. So if you don't have that, make sure to add that too. And then I'm using double quotation marks. And inside, I'm going to say, the apple was very tasty. Now I'm going to try running it again. And as you guys can see, everything we put inside of this it's just going to print out the right. So what's important to note is that we need these open parentheses, and we also need these quotation marks. So let's try it without quotation marks. The apple was very tasty. Let me delete this line. So automatically you can see that there's some red underlying, like underline squiggly red. And if you hover your mouse over it, it's gonna say invalid syntax. And syntax is like, I don't know if you guys have learned about grammar in English, but grammar is really important. It's just like grammar in English is syntax in Python. So invalid syntax just means like your grammar is wrong. So you need to make sure to fix it before you run the code. So even though it warned me that my syntax is wrong, I'm still gonna run it. And you can see it won't even let you run. It'll say syntax error and then tell you what's wrong. So let's put the quotation marks back so that doesn't happen. And now let's try it without parentheses. So automatically you can see invalid syntax once again. And when we run the program, it's gonna say invalid syntax. So make sure when you're using a print statement that you're using quotation marks and parentheses. So next, we're gonna go over something else called comments. So to make a comment, you're gonna type in Shift 3 on your keyboard. It should be Shift 3, and it looks like this character right here. Let me zoom in a little. So this character, all it does is whatever you type in here, This is a comment. Whatever you type on this line after this hashtag, it's going to make that line do nothing. So whenever the computer sees this hashtag, it skips that line. So if I type this normally, then obviously invalid syntax. But if I add a hashtag, then it ignores the line. So this is just for like, if you want to add some comments in between your code, like saying this prints whatever is in the parentheses. I think that's how you spell parentheses. That's a comment for explaining what your next line does, right? And then after that, before I move on, actually, do you guys have any questions? Like anything you're confused on? No? Okay. So next thing we're going to talk about are variables. And variables are like in math, I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but if you've used X and Y and stuff like that, those are variables. So I'm going to create a variable called name. And then I'm going to set it equal. So use an equal sign. And then set it equal to my name, which is Hemosu. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in a print statement. And then in the parentheses, I'm going to type in name. And in this case, make sure you don't put in the quotation marks. No quotation marks for this. And now when I run it, it doesn't print out name. It prints out Hemosu, which is what name was equal to. And then you'll notice that if I try running it with quotation marks like this, then instead of printing Hemosu, it's just going to print name. So basically what's happening here is whatever we set name equal to is going to be plugged into here like that. And just to make sure everyone's following along, can everyone try this on your own right now? So create a variable called name and then set it equal to your name with quotation marks around it. And then you're at the second line, you're going to print name. So Edward already finished, Daniel finished, Hannah is finished, and Mason, are you done? All right, so does anyone want to volunteer and show us their code? Daniel, Edward, Mason, Hannah, none of you guys want to volunteer? No? Oh no. Okay, it's fine. All right, then let's move on. Actually, before we move on, right now what we're talking about are variables. So there are actually different types of variables. Right now, we're talking about a string variable. And strings are just words, basically. So it's just like your name would be a string, school, that would be a string. Basically, any word and any group of letters. It doesn't even have to be a word. Like if I can set name equal to like random letters and then print it out, it'll still work. So basically you can put anything, if you put anything in between quotation marks, it's going to be a string. And then you can also have another variable type called int. So I'm going to create one called age, set it equal to 16 because I'm 16. And I'll put a comment saying this is an integer or int. And all this is just all the whole numbers you guys know, like 555, that's an int, and like -4, that's also an integer. And you'll notice that what's different between a string and integer is there's no quotation marks. And then we can also do the same thing as name, where we can just print out age, and it'll print it out at the right. And then there's a few more variable types that we're just not going to go over yet because they're a little bit more complicated, but we're going to talk more about the string. So variables probably seem kind of useless right now. We're doing is printing them out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a print statement, and then we're gonna print multiple things. So name, and then we're gonna do a plus sign. I'm sure you guys have seen plus signs in math. Oops. And then I'm gonna do double quotation marks again. And then this time I'm gonna type in, so if the sentence I want to create is, let's see. All right, who wants to create a sentence? Anyone want to volunteer? Just type in a sentence or say a random sentence. Nobody? Yeah, Mason, you want to say something?
Is the best.
Mason is the best? Okay. So what we want to print out is Mason is the best. And I'll just add an exclamation point. So we can easily just do a print statement like this, right? And then say Mason is the best, right? And if we print it out, wow, Mason is the best. But what we want to do is we want to say this, but instead of using just simply this, we're going to combine two different string variables into printing this. So first, you want to print out name, and that prints out your name, right? So we got the first part, but now we have to add something else to the print statement. So what I'm going to add is the best exclamation point. And then if I print this out, you're going to see that it says the same thing. Mason is the best. And yeah, so anyone else have a sentence they want to try out? Nobody? Okay, that's cool. So yeah, this is just an example of when you want to add two strings together. So in this case, this is actually another string, but it's just not set equal to anything. Okay, let's move on. So another thing we can do is we can do math in Python. So I'm sure you guys hate doing math sometimes, like 555 plus 3 million. Like, I don't even know what that is. So I'm going to create a print statement. And I want you guys to try putting in math in there. So like 3 plus 4. And you don't need quotation marks for this. You see, if I run the program, it actually does 3 plus 4 for me. So it prints out 7. And does anyone know what 10 plus 5 is equal to? Yeah, Edward, what's 10 plus 5 equal to?
15.
All right, let's see if you're right. You were right. So basically in Python, you can use numbers and you can use addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. But what's good about that is, do you guys know what 15,293 plus 293 is? No, right. You guys probably can't do it unless you're like a genius or something. But if I print this, you can see it instantly does the calculation for us. So that's one of the benefits of using a coding language or just using a computer in general. And also even cooler is multiplication is this star right here. So Shift 8 is multiplication if you guys want to check it out on your keyboard. And you can make all sorts of big numbers. Like I didn't know 15,293 times 293 is equal to like 4 million, whatever. Edward had a question. He said, can't you use this to cheat in homework? I mean, yeah, sure, but I wouldn't recommend cheating. I'm not advocating cheating, but if you want, yeah, sure. But we also have other things like subtraction. So subtraction is just your simple minus sign, while division is just this fraction symbol, or I think this is a backslash. It's right next to your right shift key on the left of it. And you can see that if I divided that, then it's a big decimal. So there's a few math operations you can do for fun if you want. And then finally, that's it for math. We're gonna do something kind of cool now. So make sure you guys are listening if you weren't before. So this time, I'm gonna create a string variable called name. So, oh, I forgot to say this, but so the left side of the equal sign is the name of the variable, and then whatever's on the right. So if I said, this time let's use Daniel. So if I said name is equal to Daniel, on the left, it's going to be the name of your variable. And at the right, that's going to be the value of your variable. And the equal sign is just setting the value equal to your name of the variable. And then what we can do, instead of setting this equal to something that is just set in place, we're going to get a user input for the first time. So we're going to say input. And then inside, I'm just going to say, what is your name? Question mark. And make sure you guys copy this down. This is going to be pretty cool. So if you guys want to see something very cool, here you go. So if I run the program, it's going to look pretty normal. It just says, what is your name? And then what we can do is on the right side. So usually on the console, you can't really do anything with it. But in this case, we're actually able to type something in. So I'm going to type in my name right here, and I'm going to press enter. And nothing happens. And that's because we haven't used this variable name yet. So what we're doing right here is we're printing out what is your name to the console to the right. And then whatever we type in and press enter goes into name. So then if we print name after, it's just going to repeat what we say. So if I print out, if I type in Hamosu, it's going to print out Hamosu. Then if I type in Hannah, it's going to print out Hannah. So whatever you type in, it's just going to spit it back to you. And this can be anything like, what is your name? If you want to say your name, it's Steve. There you go. Your name is now Steve. And then if you want to call yourself stupid, I don't know why you would want to do that. You can also do that too. And we're going to add a little bit to this. So we're going to put some quotation marks before. And we're just going to say hi, name. So now, whatever we type in, it's going to say hi, name. So hi, Hamosu. And then Mason, typed in Mason, it says hi, Mason. So whatever you guys type in, it's going to return it back to you guys. And we can use stupid again as an example. So if you say your name is stupid, it's going to say hi, stupid. And then we can also add just an exclamation point at the end. So if I type in my name again, it's going to say hi, Hamosu, exclamation point, which is pretty cool. And then we can also try a simple program to, let's see. All right, let's make a program that it's a repeating program. So whatever we type in, it's going to repeat it 4 times. So let's say, what do you want to repeat? Question mark. And then let's just set this equal to, or let's make the name of the variable like S, just standing for like sentence or something. And now we can simply just type in S. What do you want to repeat? I want to repeat hello. And you can see it's printing out hello once, but we want to repeat it 4 times. So does anyone have an idea of like what we can do to make it print out 4 times? Any guesses? No guesses? So I'll give you guys a hint. If I copy and paste this line to line 3 and I run it again, I want to repeat hello, then it prints out twice. So what do we do if we want to print it out 4 times? Still no idea? All right, it's fine. So if you want to print it out 4 times, yeah, we can use loops, but we just haven't gotten to that yet. So yeah, that's a good idea. I was going for more of just typing it 4 times. So if you want to say like hello 4 times, it'll print out 4 times. But just for Daniel, we're gonna try using a loop. Don't worry if this doesn't make sense. This is just something cool called a loop. This is called a for loop. So this is called a for loop, and you can see I said for I in range 4, and it probably doesn't make sense to you, which is fine. I'm just trying to show you that you can use a loop. So I'll say Daniel wants to use loops is now the new statement. And then you can see it prints out Daniel wants to use loops 4 times. And whenever I want to change it, the number of times it's getting printed. So I want it to happen 10 times. Then I change the range to 10, and it's going to print out 10 times. Hello, printed out 10 times. And yeah, that's it for input. And it is currently 7:30, so I know you guys have been listening for a very long time. I will give you guys a 3-minute break. So if you want, you can turn off your camera. Just be back by 7:33, or if you're not in California or whatever, then it should be different. Just 33 should be the minutes. I'll see you guys then. Yeah, just be back by then, please. All right. Hope you guys had a good break. Thank you for coming back on time. And what we're gonna do is, oh, okay. We're going to, let's see. All right. So what we're gonna do now is, oh, by the way, Eileen, if you do that, they have no way of replying. So it's fine though. Okay. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do a small little project. So what I want you guys to do is create your first program. I want you guys to say, so I'll write what the project is. So what I want you guys to do is first print out. So all I want you guys to do is create a program. Everyone can see this, right? So create a program using print statements that introduce yourself. So that's simply all we're doing. Please use at least 2 print statements. So use at least 2 print statements. And then I think this is pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, just let me know in the chat or you can just raise your hand. But also, you guys will be screen sharing these to your classmates, so make sure you make it cool and epic. So also let me know when you guys are finished. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. Or if you're getting errors, you can also ask. So does everyone understand what we're doing right now? Yeah, okay. And while you guys are working, I'm gonna be working too, so you can watch my screen if you need some help. All right. Make sure you guys let me know when you guys are done. How much more time do you guys think you need? So what do you guys think? 1 minute, 2 minute? Edward, does that mean 1 minute or does that mean you're done? Done? Okay. Everyone else, try to finish as fast as possible, please. Daniel, Mason, Hannah, are you guys doing it or? All right, just because we don't have much time, I'll show you guys mine. So I'm gonna run my program. It says, hi, my name is Hamosu. I like listening to music and playing soccer. And I also my eyesight is really also really bad. So yeah, that was mine. Edward, you want to share your screen and show us yours? Oh, okay. You don't? Why not? No? Okay. Well, it's fine. Anyone else finished and wants to share? Nobody? Mason, Hannah, Daniel, you guys still haven't told me if you guys are finished or not, so please let me know. Or not. Okay. Let's move on. So, oh, Mason, you're finished? All right. Can you volunteer to share your screen and show us what you did? I'll stop screen sharing for you.
Sorry, but I'm doing it on like a different device, so I can't really show you.
Oh, that sucks. All right. Just next time, make sure you do it on the same device so that you can show
I
us.
wanted to, but I can't see what you guys do.
Ah, okay. That's fine. And Daniel, you're also done. Would you like to share? You know how to screen share? Do you want to show us what you did?
Yeah, sorry.
All right. All right, cool. So look at Daniel's code. We got I'm 8 years old. I like noodles. I love noodles. Math, physics, and chemistry. I also love math. I haven't taken physics yet, so I don't know how that is. But math and science for 2 years, that is really cool. I don't think I even knew what physics and chemistry were when I was 8 years old. That's pretty cool. Yeah, thank you so much, Daniel. And lastly, Hannah, are you finished? All right, would you like to share? No? Okay, that sucks. All right. Anyways, that was good first project from everyone. Um, let's move on to another project. This time we're gonna use let's use Mason. Okay, never mind. So next time we're gonna use use in input statements. And then let's say to ask someone's favorite color and print it out. So this is our new project we're doing. If you want, you don't have to do someone's favorite color. Maybe you can do like favorite video game, maybe like favorite subject. You can do anything you want, any topic you can choose. Maybe favorite movie, favorite book. But I'll just do name as my example. So this is our next thing we're doing. I'm gonna say, what is your name? Question mark. Then I simply just want to print it out. So I'm gonna say Hamosu, and it's gonna print Hamosu out. So now I want you guys to try this, but instead of name, use any other topic. Color is just an example for you guys. And then I want you guys to print it out. Maybe you can add something that says like, your favorite color is this, or your name is that. But yeah, if you have any questions, make sure to ask because I know input might be a little bit confusing. And also, you should probably change the name of your variable to whatever you're doing. So if I was doing color, I might change this to color instead of name. So let me know when you guys finish that. And of course, if you want to share, you can share again. But if you don't, that's fine too. Is anyone getting close to finishing or done? No? All right, that's fine. All right, I think anyone finished yet? You guys can always look at my screen for an example if you need. Edward, are you done yet? You finished first last time, so. Oh, you are? Okay. Anyone else finish? Daniel, Mason, Hannah? No? All right, Edward. Can you share your screen or you still not want to? Okay. That's cool. So I'll just show you guys my code then. If you aren't done, that's okay. Just make sure you understand what's happening in my code. So I created a variable using the input statement again. And of course, this first example is using name. So just prints out name. And then now it says, what is your favorite color? This time I'm using a variable called color instead of name. And then I type in blue and it just says blue. So yeah, this is all I wanted you guys to do. If you don't have that, make sure you try to get that done so you know how to do it. And then now what we're gonna do is no more projects. We're gonna do, let's see. All right, so let's talk about the two variable types we have learned. Does anyone remember what this type of variable is called? Started with an S. Yeah, Daniel?
A string variable.
Yep, that's exactly right. This is a string. Good job. And then there was one more that I set equal to 16. And do you remember what this one was called? Started with an I. Edward?
Integer?
Yep, good job. So this is an integer variable, and this is a string variable. And a few key things is that strings need quotation marks or double quotation marks. You can use single ones if you want to. And age equals 16. Integers have to be whole numbers. So when you think about integer, just think about whole number. Does anyone know the definition of a whole number? Have you guys learned that in math? Yeah, Edward, you want to explain to us what a whole number is? Oh, you don't want to? Okay. So a whole number is basically a number that is not a decimal. So like 1 is a whole number, 15 is a whole number, and like 1 billion is also a whole number. But it can also be negative. So like -5 is a whole number. Yeah. And then if you want to do decimals, we could do those too. It's just one more thing you kind of have to remember though. So let's just do decimal. I'll just name it DEC, stands for decimal. 4.5. Does anyone want to guess what this is called? It starts with the F, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I never talked about this, so it would make sense if you don't know it. But a decimal in Python, let me just make sure this is correct. Oh yeah, okay, so it is a float. So if you want to use anything with a decimal, it's going to be a float. So you're going to have to use a variable called float. Variable type called float. And then remember that float and integers are different. So integers have to be whole numbers, while floats are decimal. And then, yeah, that's basically it for variables, I think. There's also one more variable called a Boolean. So I'm just gonna do b equals true. This is called a Boolean variable. And then this can only equal true or false. So true or false. And remember, true or false is capital T or capital F in Python at least. And notice that everything other than a string variable has quotation marks. So if there's no quotation marks, it is definitely not a string. And now that I just went over this, I want you guys to guess what type of data type these are. So let's go. X equals -10. What type of data type is that? Edward, what is it?
Integer?
Yep, that is correct. Now let's do 8.8. What type of data type is it? Anyone else other than Edward know this? Daniel?
It's a float.
Yep, that's right. And X equals 5. Anyone know what data type this is? No guesses. Daniel, you want to take a guess?
It's a string.
Yep. And Edward, you are also correct. So you can see it's a number inside, right? So maybe you guys got confused. Maybe it's an int, but anytime it has a quotation mark or double quotation mark, it is going to be a string. And then anyone know what this is? Let's give Hannah and Mason a try. Do you guys want to take a guess? Mason, you don't want to take a guess? Oh no. How about you, Hannah? Any guesses? No? Okay, that's fine. Daniel, do you know what this is? And Edward, you're right. All right, it's fine. Edward said this was a Boolean variable, and he is correct. How about this? Edward? Hannah, actually Hannah, let's give you a try.
The string variable.
So yeah, so make sure that if it has quotation marks, doesn't matter what's inside, it's always a string variable. And without quotation marks, this would have been a Boolean variable. So nice catch. Sorry, Edward. I'll call on you next time, but you're guessing all these too well. And then now I'm gonna bring up a new variable type called a list. And this one is gonna look way different. I'm gonna put all your names in here. Wow, these a lot of names. And we'll finish it off with voice of calling. All right, so this, I'm sure you guys have never seen this before. It's gonna be called a list. And it kind of makes sense, right? It looks like a list of variables, like a list of string variables. And this just kind of works the same as other variables. You can print them out using the name, and it just prints them out. And by the way, we're not going to learn this until like way later, so don't worry about it too much if you don't understand what's happening. But what we're going to do is we're going to print out. Oh, Daniel, isn't it also called an array too? Yeah. So in Python, it's called a list, but in other languages, like I use Java a lot, and in Java, this would be called a array. So yeah, it's also called an array. So if we're gonna access one item in the list, we're gonna use brackets, and then I'm gonna type in like 0. So brackets and a number inside. Now if I run it, it's gonna print out Hamosu. Now if I run it again with 1 instead, it's gonna print out Eileen. So you can see it's going from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's just counting up from 0. And yeah, so that's gonna be it for today's class. And before you guys all leave, what I'm gonna do is take a quick picture of everyone. So if everyone could get their faces in the frame, big smile on face. Edward, if you can move up just a little, you too, Hannah, show your mouth smiling, big smile. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you guys so much, and I hope to see you guys next week. Hope you guys learned something, and you guys are free to leave now. So, bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.